Hey guys, welcome back to the Unlocked podcast. Today we are going to be talking about a topic that I love. If you can grasp this one thing, I think I can make a major difference in your life starting today. So, the topic we're talking about today is abundance and having an abundant mindset and how that can shape and change and alter the course and direction of your entire life, and how to apply these principles, which I have unlocked for myself over the years in a way that actually causes the momentum of manifestation to work in your favor. Now, we've all heard the gurus talk about law of attraction. Like, as an example, if you're telling yourself every day that I am rich, I am a millionaire, but in reality, you're living day to day, struggling to survive in your life, there is an energy misalignment and disconnect that could actually be holding you back from actually making this energetic shift to be able to change your life. Now, I have applied the things that I'm going to share with you today within my life in all aspects and areas of creating and building the life that I have now. Now, I'm not a billionaire yet, but I will tell you the story of how I began and where I came from, and you will see that what I have manifested and created within my life is actually pretty amazing. So let's first start with a story that I put up in Instagram polling my audience. I asked you guys, would you rather have the body of your dreams, supermodel body, effortlessly and easily the rest of your life without ever even having to try? Or would you rather have unlimited financial freedom where you earn as much money as you want on millions of dollars, let's say millions of dollars consistently on a regular basis the rest of your life without ever having to worry, opening up complete freedom of time to you? What would you rather have? Now, keep in mind, my audience is typically here for the body goals, for reaching and achieving weight loss, fat loss, improved fitness, and all of that. So that's the mindset and focus of my audience, improved health and all of that. I was actually shocked and blown away that the results came back the way they did. Over 70% of you guys said you would rather have the financial abundance and to be basically set for life without worrying and without stress about how you're going to earn money than the actual body goal. So that was surprising to me. And then I asked you guys why that is. And this is where the topic of today's podcast comes in. And if you're watching this, I would love to hear in the comments below, what would you rather have? And then also put in the comments why that is. Pause this, go do that, and then continue on with what I'm about to say. So the reason you guys said that you would rather have the financial abundance is because it would allow you to have the time flexibility to work on your body goals without stress. And if you have the money, you basically can achieve all your goals and anything you want in life. Okay. So typically money is a very interesting topic with people because it can be controversial. What I have found within my life and building up a lifestyle full of abundance in all areas and aspects, from relationships to finances to my body, all of the aspects, what I have found in the process is the more money you have, the more opportunity you have to give to others. And building and creating and growing wealth in a way that you don't feel like you have to work or that you're struggling to make the money is a very powerful way to live your life. It's literally the definition of freedom. So that being said, today's episode, we're going to go into some real tactical things that you can start applying today to start actually moving in the direction of your goals and to manifest the life that you want, from the finances to the body goals. And if you're curious, my answer to that question actually was the same as everybody else's. I would rather have the financial abundance than to be in perfect physical peak condition and shape. Absolutely, because I know what doors unlock for you when you do have that availability to be able to take care of yourself without stress, worry, and to be able to live in complete creative abundance and freedom. Just so you know that the things that I'm sharing with you actually work, I'm going to share with you some of the abundance that I've experienced in my life. This is not to impress you, but this is to impress upon you that when you make these shifts for yourself, they actually can work in your lifestyle. Now, I'm a self-made millionaire, which means I came from nothing and I created abundance within my life to earn residual income of millions of dollars pretty much effortlessly. I mean, I will tell you, the lifestyle I live today, I get to do things I love to do, and I pretty much get to set my own hours for what I want to do when I want to do it. And all of this came from all of these tips that I'm going to share with you today. A few years ago, we moved to Florida into our dream home. We renovated our entire house. I was able to pay off my mortgage on my $2 million home in cash, thanks to the abundance that has been created in my life. So I have no debt, I have no mortgage. And that being said, with all of this financial abundance, I do live a very modest lifestyle. I could be living in a $10 million house, but I am not. I could be flying private, but I don't. I could be doing things and for a specific reason, I don't. I keep my lifestyle in a way that feels abundant to me, but is not overly excessive, and I can actually keep up with without putting myself into a corner. Before we get into my personal story, my goal and my hope of this entire video is to inspire you and to motivate you and to bring you up energetically to the level to be able to create this within your own life in the different ways that you obviously can do that. There's a million different ways to do that. I will also share with you exactly how I've earned this type of lifestyle and wealth and where my financial abundance comes from. And we're going to go into very granular details within this podcast episode. You can check out the chapters below if there's something you want to skip to. However, I strongly suggest you listen to my full story, because within the story is weaved in lessons that is going to open your mindset up to different perspectives that you may not have thought about or are thinking about. So before we jump into my story, let's get to what keeps us in a scarcity mindset. And I'm going to run through a list of the biggest things that are holding you back from accessing the manifestation of shifting your mindset to be able to create this sort of abundance in your life. So the very first thing is the news. If you're watching the news, you are constantly triggering and listening to negative drama that is happening around you. Now, we've heard of going on news diets and all of that. I went years without listening to the news. My husband wanted to kill me because I didn't know anything that was going on in the world anywhere. But guess what? I was able to keep my own little bubble of positive energy. I don't need to hear about these tragedies that are happening around me. Anything that's really important, I will hear about. I will hear about it in the school. I will hear about it. It will come to me. If there's like a hurricane coming, I will hear about it. Trust me. I don't need to be listening to the news all the time, every day. A lot of times people do this. They put it on in the background, which is hitting their subliminal messaging and is going straight to your subconscious mind, which is the last thing you want to do, right? So try to cut back on the news. The next thing is clipping coupons and looking for discounts everywhere. Here's the thing. When you shift your mind to start thinking like an abundant person, abundant people are not constantly looking for discounts. Now, a lot of times people think, well, saving money is the same thing as earning money. It's not, because saving money, you can only save so much of what you earn. However, you can earn multiplied way more than you could possibly save. And I understand that people might be in a specific place in their life where they can't afford to splurge on specific things and they need to look for those savings. However, be mindful of the fact that the moment you do not have to clip coupons, you should look for purchasing the things that you actually want, not the things that are on sale, right? So don't just buy something because it's a good deal or it's a discount or it's on sale. Buy things that you actually want in life. That's what $1 million people do. I don't know of any multimillionaire that is clipping coupons to save 50 cents at the grocery store. Talking badly about others, this is something that is going to come back at you, right? So when you say things negatively about other people or you think things negatively about other people, you're actually giving your body the impression that you feel these same ways about yourself, and it's going to create self-doubt within you, because if you are judging someone else, you're going to be less likely to want to put yourself out there because of the fear of other people judging you too. So try to control your thoughts and patterns on what you think and believe about other people. So instead of looking at the things you don't like in others or pointing out what they're doing wrong, start focusing on the things they're doing right and the things you love about what they're doing and wearing or whatever. That's the thing that normally triggers you to look negative for the negatives. Start looking for the positive. Next thing is harboring feelings of guilt and jealousy. Guilt and jealousy is going to keep you in a pattern of guilt and jealousy. Those are two of the most low vibrational energies and feelings that you can feel. So when you feel guilty about something, like especially like we find this with women with food a lot. So like I was on a very restrictive carb restricted diet, and that ended up causing me to feel a lot of guilt in my life when I would have carbs. And so this was putting me into a negative frequency and vibration that I needed to break up with to be able to have the feeling where I don't feel guilty for anything that I eat, because that guilt feeling is going to harbor a very negative energy that's going to bring negative experiences into your life. It sets you on a path to somewhere you don't want to go. It will only bring more feelings of guilt. So losing the feelings of guilt, the feelings of jealousy, when you see someone achieving something that you want in your life, you need to be excited for them, genuinely excited, and try to latch onto the feeling of excitement that they're experiencing in their life at this moment while they experience these amazing things that would make the average person jealous. It's not going to make you jealous because you don't think that way. You are looking at them and thinking, wow, if they can do this, I can do this. They are amazing. I am so excited for them. I was able to hit like the top sales numbers within my company because I went to an event and saw the top people achieving the awards. And instead of feeling jealous about them doing that, I felt their energy of excitement and I literally stole it from them because then I was up there on stage taking all of the awards the following year because I was able to capture what it felt like in that moment, and I lived there before it actually happened. Complaining and being a victim is going to keep you in a scarcity mindset. If you're constantly thinking and looking at why things won't work, why things happen to you, what is wrong with everything going on around you, you're never going to open up the space to find the answers to help you get past these things that might be roadblocks. So it's always our, initial thought process to complain about things that happen to us, but why don't we start shifting our mindset and focusing on why things are happening for us? What is the reason that this happened that can be spun around into a benefit within your own life to be able to give back either to others, to be able to overcome the same issue? Or where did this thing, and it's hard to notice it in the moment when it's happening, but later on, I've always seen how negative experiences in my life has always led me down a path of a positive end result. It's brought me somewhere I didn't expect, and I knew that thing had to happen for me to get there. So if you know that things happen for you, not to you, that is a mindset shift that can help you move forward in your future. If you typically watch scary movies or dramas of people murdering each other and all of these things that are literally causing your adrenaline to rise and you to emotionally feel the pain and the suffering within the video, it can get to the point where it can even bring us to tears, right? If you're watching that type of content, let me tell you, that is soaking into your subconscious mind. That is actually steering the direction of where you are going. And so it's so much better for you to start watching like comedies and happy movies and things that bring joy to you, right? Even having a pet, owning a pet can make you feel good because it takes you out of your own life and brings joy to you just seeing their happy energy. And so it's the same thing with movies and the news. Okay. So I stopped watching scary movies years ago when I realized, oh my gosh, this is actually going to manifest like negative events to happen within my life. Maybe the next day you're going to rear end someone or something like that. These things we don't realize are connected. Everything is connected energetically. Everyone is connected energetically. And that goes back to when you're talking negatively about someone else, you're actually talking negatively about yourself, because energetically we are all within one field and we are all connected together. Someone else's success is your success, right? And vice versa. The other thing that we can get into, habit we can get into, that's a huge scarcity mindset, is thinking about the worst case scenario about something that is happening and coming up, looking at the negative of what could go wrong instead of looking at what could go right. When you do this, you are setting the intention and the path for that thing. So obviously there's things that could go wrong in every scenario, but if you focus your energy on what could go right, you are so much further ahead in actually achieving the thing and having the positive outcome happen to you within your life. If you know of something that keeps you in a scarcity mindset, put it in the comments below. I'm curious that I maybe forgot or didn't mention here, but also saying I can't. So if you say I can't, that is literally telling the world that the universe, your energy, that you cannot do something, and you're blocking that energy immediately. You should never say I can't to anything. It should actually shift, and should be something like, I would love to be able to do this. So instead of I can't do YouTube videos, it's I would love to be able to create a YouTube video someday. I can't post on Instagram because I don't like the way I look. I would love to be able to love the way I look so I can post on Instagram. Just simple shifts of that mindset to get out of the I can't to I can vibration. And here are some things that open up the abundance energy. Now, I'm going to be giving you guys tools and tactics to use at the end of this video after we get into my personal story and how I've used this to change my life, and it's going to blow you away. So you want to stay tuned until the end. You've never heard these things before, what I'm going to share with you at the end of this video. So to open up the positive abundant mindset, you need to start giving without the expectation of getting anything in return, and giving knowing that it comes back to you multiplied. Anything you give comes back multiplied. I would always say for every dollar I spend, $10 comes back to me. And when you start saying this, then you stop thinking about the lack, and you start thinking about the abundance that is out there, because there's an unlimited flow of financial abundance around all of us. It's either flowing to you or it's not. Being a self-learner and not expecting anything from anyone, as well as lowering expectations of everyone. If you have high expectations of people, you're going to be disappointed, right? People have their own lives. You have your own life. If you have no expectations of others, they cannot bring you down and make you feel bad, and you will actually separate yourself from them. You are separating your happiness from them. You don't need anyone else to be happy. This is a very, very important lesson. If you do not need anyone or anything to be happy, and you can create your own happiness, you take back your power from everything around you. So nothing can go wrong that will ruin your day or tear you down or take you backwards, or someone not doing something for you is not going to stop you from doing the things you want to do. There are many different ways that you can create a stream of financial success to come into your life in a way that you're not trading time for money. So most of us grow up and are told that you need to go to college to get a good job so that you can make money to be able to support your family. And that is what we are told. Now, I am almost 40 years old. So anyone around my age group, there was not the opportunities there are today while we were growing up. There was no social media. There was no way for like a stay-at-home mom to bring in an income while she was still taking care of her kids. So it makes sense that they would tell you that, and it's not like they're brainwashing you to be employees, but doesn't it make sense that at that time that was the most logical direction they were trying to guide people to be in, right? But this is an old mindset, and the opportunities that we have today are amazing. There is unlimited opportunities. I mean, if you have a phone, you can do pretty much anything and nothing has to hold you back. But it's going to take a major mindset shift to be able to, for one, have the confidence to put yourself out there in the world and to be a beginner and to fail a million times, because that's what it takes to build success. But today, with the topic of mindset and abundance and creating that for yourself within your life, is a specific foundation that needs to be set, and different things that you can do literally every day that can help you move in the direction of this goal. So, my story, I grew up in a very low income household. My mom was very young when she had me, early 20s. And my father was someone who was like a year younger than her. So he was like 21 when he had me. And my mom was basically a single mother. She struggled when I was younger growing up. And I actually have two other brothers that were along for the journey in those early days. And later on, my mom was remarried, and I have a sister as well as a bunch of step siblings. So we grew up basically living paycheck to paycheck on her paychecks as a hairdresser. I grew up watching that. However, we weren't going on trips. We didn't have it there was no like excess. There was like holidays were very minimal. My mom worked very hard to give us like really good Christmases. And when my dad was around, he tried to help as well. To make a long story short, I did not come from wealth. I did not come from a family that had an abundant mindset. I was basically raised to believe that I need to get married to have some form of wealth in my life, or else I will never be wealthy. There will be no opportunity for me. I was a CD student. I was not like this intelligent guru. I like to color. I was a little artistic, that sort of thing, but I was nothing crazy as far as like I didn't have any talents or anything like that. And I was also a little bit overweight, always felt like very self-conscious about my body. I had a lot of heavy guilt just from living in that lower income lifestyle. There's a lot of guilt that is placed on the children, not by their parents, but just in general, the society. It was like a cloud, okay? But I didn't realize this at the time. I didn't know. My mindset wasn't broad at that time. But I always had this feeling inside me like, why am I me? What is my purpose? Why am I here? And it would like give me this like feeling of just like intense warmth. I remember being like 10 years old having this thought, why am I me? Like, why am I me? Like, why am I given this opportunity to be here right now living this life? There must be a purpose for it. There must be a reason beyond what I can see for my life right now. I dealt with a lot of challenges growing up with my family, with my mother and all of that. We moved through this, past this. We since now have a great relationship. But at the time, I felt very trapped in my life. Now, let's move forward into when I left high school. I almost didn't graduate. I had my mindset was very scared. It was scarcity focused mindset. There was never enough, right? If someone else is doing something, it's somehow taking away from my opportunity. If someone in my family is having success, it's somehow taking my opportunity for success. This is a scarcity mindset. So I met my husband. He's 3 years older than me, but at the time I was 17. We weren't married at that time. We moved into an apartment together. He grew up in a middle class family, okay? And he did not experience a lot of the things that I experienced coming from a lower class family. But I always took care of myself, like as in I was bringing in equal amounts of rent. He wasn't like a sugar daddy for me in any means, you know? He was working his way up from the bottom, and everything that we built to this day, I believe we built it together. And while I still am working towards opening his mindset up to the abundant mindset, I, you know, it's what it is. You know, men are very closed off in a lot of aspects. So that's just one way. But he went to college. I did not go to college. I went to community college. I went to a 4-year college for a very short amount of time, but I did not get my degree. This goes back again to the belief in myself and lacking that belief in myself and holding on to the belief that I will never be anything or create anything or become anything. And I just didn't have that. It just wasn't meant for me. It was meant for those other people, but not for me. And so then my husband graduated high school or college, graduated college, got a job in New Jersey. I moved with him from Vermont, where we both grew up, to New Jersey. And we started our life together, right? This is before we got married. I started working in insurance. And insurance, I actually learned a lot. I learned a lot because in insurance, I had to be pounding the pavement, literally walking into businesses, trying to sell them insurance. And I was a young girl. And I had the door slammed in my face so many times. And I was put in positions where I was working in like really dangerous areas in New Jersey where no single young female should be walking the streets by themselves. Let's just put it that way. So that was where I was at, okay? And it was a struggle. I was literally making $10,000 a year working 9 to 5 or longer on a commission-based position, okay? And that experience helped me build me to become what I am today, because if I didn't have that experience, I would not be able to sit here in front of you and say what I'm doing now is so easy compared to that. Because compared to that, anything is easy. I can do anything, right? I wasn't like compensated for the actual hard hustle that it took to do that, but I would still get up and go do that for the belief that possibility that I could create some sort of residual income with these clients to build a life where I could have that freedom, but something was missing there. Now, at this same time, I was introduced to the book The Secret. And if you've ever listened to that book, it really talks about how when you believe something, and the words that you say, if you believe it and you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand, and you will actually manifest the life that you want based on the words that you're speaking. And so I started putting that into place. And around this time, I got pregnant with my first child, Peter. And I had him, and then I got pregnant, and I was a stay-at-home mom, but I was also doing this insurance thing on the side of that because it wasn't really my choice. It was more so my husband was like, no, you have to work too. And we were on this just like, it was wasn't a single income household, even though I wasn't making that much, if that makes sense. So when I got pregnant for my daughter, when my son was 7 months old, that's when I was like, okay, I don't want to do this insurance thing anymore. It's so stressful. I'm not making enough to deal with the stress, right? Like I have clients calling me, telling me their restaurant's burning down, and it was so depressing, and it was just bringing my energy in such a depressing direction. And this is where the miracles in my life started beginning, okay? He said, you can be a stay-at-home mom. And I know a lot of you watching this are like, well, I can't be a stay-at-home mom. Well, I have to work in addition to this. I'm just telling you this was my story, and this is where it all began and opened up for me, because at this point forward now, I had never just, not had a purpose in some sort of work related to me, connected to me. And so I was a stay-at-home mom and I was changing diapers all day, and I felt so blessed. Like I was like, "Oh my gosh, I made it." Those things that I was told when I was younger, to get married and be a stay-at-home mom and let your husband provide for you. This happened for me. I'm so lucky. Like my husband has a great career. He's making six figures a year. We're going to be amazing. Like we're going to live this great lifestyle and all of that. Like our first house we bought was a $800,000 house, and that to me was so much money. It was like, whoa, that's a lot of money. It was all mortgaged on based on his income, right? And we're gonna open that up a little bit in a second here as well. But I was now thinking, wow, I made it. I get to live this great life. I don't have to work anymore, and I can just, spend my days doing, like, taking care of my kids. And then it only took like 7 months of that to realize I hate this. Like, I don't feel like I have a purpose in life. I feel bored all the time. I don't feel like I can just like go do things I want to do. Like, I can't just go shopping because I feel like I'm spending his money. I can't just go to Home Goods and like decorate my house like I want to do. I felt very, very, very trapped. So that's when I was like, okay, well, I had a friend who was doing an online business, through network marketing. And I was like, okay, I wasn't familiar with really what it was, and also at the same time, I did not have a network. Okay. Let's just put it in perspective. I literally had 70 Facebook friends, and those people were like my grandfather, my cousin. It wasn't like, and I knew nothing about social media branding and and like anything like that. But at the same time, I was so freaking bored in my life, and I just wanted to be able to make enough money to go to Home Goods. So I was like, I have nothing to lose. So I started this business as a hobby to just bring in an income to be able to then go do my own hobbies. And I just shared something I loved because I did love the product. I loved the whole community and the whole experience. And that's what got me started. And then from there, I realized I have a purpose in this. I love helping people. I love helping people through the process of like getting started on their goals. I love helping people build businesses and that sort of thing. Like, this is fun for me. And I love learning. I love growing and expanding my own knowledge. And so that's what started me on my own personal development, my own personal learning. And throughout this entire time, I was writing down in a journal different things, methods that I'm going to share with you guys today, to help me build this up, right? And so I did that for a few years, and I built that, and it was great. But then it got to a point with that company that, because I got into that company without actually paying attention to, wait, is this actually a good business to be a part of long term? Like, what is the compensation plan? Like how is this structured? I wasn't familiar with all of that. I just literally started it as a hobby. It wasn't like I was thinking of it as a career, but then it started becoming that this is going to be my career. And so I ended up, because I was into fasting, I was into like biohacking and like different things that you can do to enhance your cognition, your brain, your focus, your all of that. Because I was interested in all of that, that's when I was actually introduced to another network marketing company, which was just starting. And I was like, this is interesting. And I tried the product and I became obsessed. I could see how this helps so much with the fasting aspect, because from someone who was fasting, and at this time I was fasting like 16 hours a day. I had my babies. I was trying to lose the baby weight. And I could see how this product could help extend the fast and make the fasting easier and also boost the results. And so, and I got amazing results from it. So then I was like, this is incredible. And then I dove into like the compensation plan and all of that. And there's a ton of different ways to make money online. But I actually went into this more so thinking I want to build a purpose that's aligned with what my goals are and what I feel like will be the most value that I could bring to someone else. And so I decided to partner with this new company and launch my business with them. And the momentum and growth of my business really took off dramatically because I had this abundant mindset. All right. So a lot of people start up YouTube channels, podcasts, Instagram accounts, and they monetize those areas based on partnering with brands who will send them different brand deals, and they will pay them to mention their product within their videos. I never wanted to have to do that. I wanted to always be able to bring the most value to my audience without having an outside force of me needing to make money off of my audience. I wanted to focus on giving as much value as I possibly could. And this is a major success tip from a multi-million-dollar earner of how to build that type of wealth, and that is to give more than you take. The more you give to the world, the more comes back to you in return. And so having your own product within network marketing, a network marketing platform, allows you to have a product that is yours, but not to have to do the actual creation of the product, the branding of the product, the fulfillment of the product, the customer service, all of that that's tied up with owning a product. You're able to then just have a link where you share the product you love, they get started, and then it starts a customer base for you. And it's a little bit different than affiliate marketing, because with affiliate marketing, you get a link, but the commission structure is lower there. The other reason I love network marketing is because you have the ability to teach people what you know and what you've learned to help them grow and build businesses as well. And so I really enjoy, that aspect of it. So coming back to the abundant mindset, right? Small vision for what would be possible for my future. And the moment I realized the capability and the possibility, because I saw other people doing it, and maybe you watching this right now, you're thinking, wow, if she could do it, I can do it too. Seeing that is what led me to then, it planted the seeds in me. All right, so long story short, I had a way to monetize my social media platforms in a way that I wasn't employing myself to somebody else. I could have complete freedom to create the content that I want to create, to put forth the message I want to put forth, and to just share my journey. And with doing that, helping people get set up with the exact method that helped me reach my goals. And that's what unlocked this for me. But also because I had the aspect side of it where I could bring in people to build the business together we were able to build multi-million-dollar businesses together. I have people that I have mentored just simply by sharing what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, who are earning at that level as well. So it's pretty amazing what is possible. And a lot of times, especially like network marketing, gets a bad rap. But here's the thing. If it's not right for you, it's not right for you. There's so many ways. They say there's a million ways to make $1 million, and it's absolutely true. That's basically my story. But I would not be here today as a multi-million-dollar earner within that company, earning a residual income to the point that where it is now, where I have this freedom and this flexibility to do what I want when I want. But even with that, I'm still showing up, creating content and doing this stuff because it is part of my purpose and what I love. I'm not here to make money. Money is a byproduct of the creation and the value that you add to the world, and it comes back to you multiplied. So I had to get out of the scarcity mindset. Otherwise, I would not be here today. It doesn't matter what the business is. It doesn't matter what aspect or area or company that you partner with. What matters the most is your mindset going into it. Are you going into it thinking you can't do something, you're not good enough, you will never be that person? Or are you going into it thinking, wow, if that person can do it, I can do it too. This is going to be so easy. I can do anything. I came from what I've done in the past. This is a piece of cake. If you come into it from that energetic standpoint, there's literally no stopping you. Now, to get to this point, every single day, I focused on creating and doing I am statements. Now, I started following a while ago. I started following the Abraham Hicks story. So I read the books, I listened to the podcasts and the audibles. Abraham Hicks is all about utilizing the law of attraction to manifest and change your life in different areas that you want to change. I've even used this to manifest the life I have now, where I can eat whatever I want and reach my goals with my body. That was something I wanted to work on, and you guys would have seen this in the different past vlogs that I've done. That was like my main biggest successful manifestation that I've had in my life was actually that. In addition to obviously the financial abundance. But financial abundance comes when you shift your mindset to actually being in the abundant state. And they say like attracts like. The things that you think, you become. You attract to you people and circumstances like you to help align you to your goals. And also there is something called a reticular activating system within our brains. And the things that we think about and we say, we will start noticing in our environment things and opportunities that will lead you to the destination of what it is you want to achieve for yourself. About I am going to become and be this regardless of the way and regardless of the method, and the way would be shown to me. The way was actually shown to me. And with the company I'm with now was introduced to my life, I was open to it because I was open to receive, and I wasn't closed off to opportunities. And so that's kind of a little bit about how that works, but we can definitely create and build a box around ourselves. So the very first thing that built me up to into financially creating that abundance, where literally I have millions of dollars that flows to me without really much effort, energy, or time, or stress, or anything like that, which I think is what we're all trying to achieve here, is creating a gratitude journal. And I know you've probably heard from like Dr. Joe Dispenza. That's another one who's amazing as far as like gratitude goes and the different ways it changes your brain. But when you focus on the gratitude of something, whether you have it or not, you're basically training your body and tricking your body into believing it's already yours, which puts you into the frequency and the mindset of that thing and achieving that thing. So with the gratitude, I would always write the things that I'm thankful for and the things that I'm thankful for that I don't have yet. But if you look behind me, this looks and appears to be like a vision board, but what it is, it's a love board. Because what I decided to do was, instead of putting up things that I want on a vision board, which you will hear people telling you to do all the time, and believe me, I've built vision boards before, but instead of doing that, I decided to do a love board. And on this, I decided to put up things that I love, and that puts you into the frequency of gratitude for the things that you don't even have yet. I love this, I love that. And I will put up an image of that so you guys can see that. So if you're listening on audio, check out the video in YouTube for what this love board is. But it puts you into a vibrational frequency of the things that you love. Now, it's really important that you start believing in yourself. And that's where the I am statements can become very helpful, because what you're doing is you're starting to tell yourself the things that you want to become, and eventually you start becoming those things. But an even more powerful way to supercharge this is, instead of saying like, I am brilliant, why don't you start saying, why? Asking, why am I so brilliant? Because now you're saying it's already yours. Why are you like this? And the answers to these things will start coming. And this is a manifestation tool that can actually supercharge it. So why am I so creative? Why am I so physically fit? Why am I so healthy? Why am I so, just go down the list of all the things that you want to be. Why am I so financially abundant? Why do I attract so much abundance in my life? Why am I so amazing at everything I do? Why do I add so much incredible creative genius value to the world? All of these things, you just write that down, and write it down every day, right? Get a bullet journal. I like bullet journals. You can use a regular journal if you want, but and get a really nice pen that writes really well. And every morning in your miracle morning, set aside the time to write out either I am statements or why am I statements, because that's just going to be very powerful for you. Now, another thing that I learned from Abraham Hicks is to create 3 columns, and at the top you want to write what I want. Next up, you want to write why I want it. And then in the next column, you want to write why I know I will have what I want. And this is going to reinforce the belief of what you want, why you want it, and then why you know it's coming to you. And so that is a very strong, powerful manifestation tool I've used over the years. The next thing is a mind movie. Now, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about these mind movies. What you see on your daily basis is extremely important for how your body is responding to the energy frequency of the things that you want. So I created my own mind movie, and I actually created one for my team too, to help them get into the frequency of the abundance and all of that. And I'll actually put in the comments below the one I created for my team so you can see what that is. And I think it will actually put you into a frequency of abundance, even though it is related to my team specific, but it is related to building and growing business and building that success for yourself, creating value to the world, and shifting your mindset in that way. Now, it shouldn't feel forced. That is the other thing about manifesting abundance. It shouldn't feel forced. It should feel effortless, and it should feel easy. And this goes for your body goals as well. If it feels hard and it feels forced, that is typically a sign that you're not actually manifesting. You were efforting it to happen. Now, there are times we have to do hard things, right? There's been many times in building my business that I didn't want to do some things. There's been many times when I felt like, oh my gosh, how am I going to figure this out? This is really hard. And that's okay. That is a totally separate topic. That is a hustle, and that is building skills. And it's good to fail because you fail forward and you learn from those failures. Manifestation is a separate category in addition to this that is different from that. Now, you absolutely can manifest attracting everything you need into your life, but shifting away from the scarcity mindset. Now, the scarcity mindset is going to tell you that you can't do things and there's not enough of it to go around, right? The scarcity mindset is going to tell you that, well, there are too many YouTube channels, so I can't start a YouTube channel. There's too many people on Instagram sharing tips that I can't share tips. There's too many people in this network marketing company. It's saturated, so I can't build a business there. These are the scarcity mindsets. Now, if you come in and think, wow, I've got a challenge here because I'm going to dominate this and show these people what I'm made of and show these people that I'm going to go from nothing to something, that's a mindset that you want to latch onto. That is giving your body and yourself a challenge to be able to say, I can do this, I can do anything, and I'm going to prove it. And so that's a very, very powerful way to be and to manifest the success within your life. Now, you also have to go to work, right? But when you are manifesting alignment, the way is shown to you, and it brings you into a path that leads you to this destination. It does not mean that you can just sit there and write in a journal, I am a billionaire and $1 billion is going to show up at your doorstep the next day. You have to get on the energy frequency of it, and you also have to recognize the opportunity when it's presented to you, that is the opportunity that you should take and you should work towards. That's how it works. So it's not magic. It's just literally you can trick your brain and your body, and you also need to get into the frequency of feeling happy and feeling good, because the better you feel, the more abundant, happy feelings are going to come to you and multiply that feeling to you. So we got to train our brain to just get onto that abundant frequency mindset. Now, for your body goals, it's the same thing, but sometimes you got to pull away from what you're doing to find and stop the momentum in a specific direction to find the momentum that you need to go in. And that's exactly what happened to me when I became a stay-at-home mom. I actually stopped the momentum of what I was focusing my energy on, and that opened up this energy and this momentum to go in this opposite direction that I never would have thought I would have gone in. And like I had mentioned before, I had no experience, and this was way out of what I ever thought possible for myself. But because I saw someone else do it, I was like, that gave me the confidence that if that person can learn it, and if it's all available, and especially these days, you can learn anything on YouTube. You're watching this right now, learning a new skill, learning something and putting it into action, and you're going to change your life doing that. If you can do that, then you can do anything. It doesn't matter what your skill is or what it is that you want to create and what you want to do. You can literally Google how to do it or YouTube how to do it. You can find the answer for how to do it. It's putting it then into action and doing it. I built my entire business literally YouTubing how to do the things, how to start a YouTube channel, how to grow this, how to do that, how to get myself out there, how to build relationships. I'm a massive introvert. A lot of you guys don't know this about me, but I am a huge introvert, but I've also changed a lot throughout the years because of my business. It's helped me push myself out of my comfort zone and actually become a more extroverted person, even though it's very hard for me because I just want to crawl into a hole and just be alone most of the time. But sometimes introverts actually have the best potential for building a social media business, because at the end of the day, like right now, I'm talking to thousands, if not millions of people who will watch this video eventually. And I'm sitting in a room by myself with a camera. So for introverts, they can be themselves with themselves, whereas a lot of times extroverts have more of a struggle to do that. These are all things you can overcome for yourself. So if you find it very difficult to say, okay, well, I want to build a business online, I want to start bringing value to the world, I want to start either just sharing my journey or sharing a passion I have or doing something I love, I want to start bringing it to the world, you got to put yourself out there first. And we're all terrible to begin. And that's something you also have to learn and get over. We are all going to be just awful at the start. My first YouTube videos, guys, you couldn't even follow a sentence I would say. It would take me an hour to even form a thought. But we can get over it. We can get over those things. Just because you struggle with something now doesn't mean you're going to struggle with that thing forever. Just because you think you're not good at something now, that doesn't mean you're not going to be good at that thing forever. It's right now. Right now you're working through something. So you need to change the way you talk about yourself and your skills and your ability, and start saying things like, instead of saying, I can't do YouTube because I'm terrible on video, you're going to start saying things like, I would love to be on YouTube someday and improve my skills of being on video. I would love to be charismatic and able to create content and like put it out there and build a purpose and a passion and do something I love. And, I'm talking a lot about social media because that's where I've built my business, and that's just what I've utilized as a tool so that I didn't have to get childcare. I didn't have to leave my kids. I could just do it in the cracks of time that I could with them running around. But this also applies to like building your own business and creating a brand and doing anything that you want to do and build, right? So the abundant mindset's important. The other thing is who you hang out with. So they say you're the average of like the 5 people you hang out with most. And for a lot of us moms, we might be hanging out with our husband and our kids. But if your husband has a negative attitude and is constantly draining your energy, that's something to be mindful of. I actually had to pull away from my entire family because the momentum they were going down was in complete opposition and separate from where I wanted to go. I couldn't be around it. I had to separate myself from them completely. Not only did I move to another state, but I stopped visiting. I stopped going up for like holidays and stuff. And while I love them, I didn't want to be one of them, if that makes sense. And while they're choosing their life and they have a life that they love and whatever, that's their choice and that's their life. But if I'm around it all the time, it's only going to make me just one of them. And so I had to do that. I had to create those boundaries for myself. I had to separate myself, and I had to focus on who I'm spending my time with. Now, who you're spending your time with doesn't have to be in person. It can be through personal development, listening, the books you're listening to, the podcasts you listen to, the energies you're around. You want to be around people you want to be like. If someone's done something that you want to achieve in your life, you want to spend time listening to that person. There's an energetic shift that happens. If there is someone who is constantly a victim, constantly talking about how life happened to them, they were dealt a horrible hand of cards. If there's a person like that you're always around, guess what? You're going to start thinking that way too. It's much easier to be sucked into a negative energy than it is to bring someone into a positive energy. So it's easier for you to get sucked into their negative energy than for you to bring them up to your energy. So don't even try. Let them live in their energy, but you need to separate yourself to bring yourself into a more positive energy. Now I can be around my family more, and I can, be in different family functions and stuff without worrying that I'm going to be one of them, because I have gone out of that bubble. I've escaped it, and I've moved into a totally different realm of possibility for lifestyle. And so I don't have to, I'm not worried about it. It's not like a contagious disease that you're going to catch when you hang out with someone that is living in that cycle of life, right? And if you're watching this and you are in that cycle of life and you are one of those people, that is something you need to work on immediately to help you move into that next level of where you want to go and what you want to achieve for yourself. So the next thing you can do is actually create a vision board on Pinterest or a love board on Pinterest. When you're in that app, you can find things that you want to manifest into your life and pin it. And then when you have time, you just go through those images and you just try to get those images in front of your mind to what you're trying to achieve. I want you to also do some visualizations of where you want to be in your life. Close your eyes and imagine what it will be like when you're at your goal, when you're achieving the things you're doing, going shopping for the things you want to shop for, the people you're going to be buying for, the people's lives you're going to be impacting, those things with the financial abundance that you have. Because remember, it's not about you. You are creating this abundance because you're giving more to the world. And so while it's fun to like have these things, it's fun to be able to buy whatever you want, to just go shopping and just buy whatever. The funny thing is, once you reach that abundance, you're no longer going to want to go shopping for the things. I spend so much time creating content and coming up with ideas to add value to the world. I literally do not have time to like be going shopping thinking about me and what I want for myself, because I'm spending so much time on others. And this is just part of that mindset shift that happens. It's like, how can I help someone else's life today, and what can I create that's going to do that, and what can I learn? Because the bigger and better you get, the more you bring to the world. And so what can I learn today that is going to help impact someone else's life, because just through me sharing the things that I learn. And it's literally that simple. And so if you're sitting here today and you're like, okay, I'm struggling in my life, everything's a mess, I don't have the health I want, I don't have the fitness I want, I just hate the way I feel, I hate the way I look, I don't like my job, I don't like the stress, I don't like the craziness in my life. Take it one step at a time, and you need to start listening to, I would listen to Abraham Hicks. I would start putting into practice the I am statements, writing it down. There's a power in writing it down, because you actually bring it from the universe and you put it into physical form by actually writing the words on paper. Saying it out loud is another thing, right? You will never catch me saying anything negative about myself, because even if I feel that way about myself, I'm not going to speak it into the world. There's my daughter. She's the FBI. She said, open up. So I've got to cut this video off here pretty soon. And maybe I'll do a part 2 of this topic, because I feel like it needs a lot of discussion. It's a pretty broad topic. The music you listen to is extremely important too. So sometimes we'll be listening to like country music, which might be very depressing, or like it makes you feel better to listen to other people singing about things that are relatable to you, that might be that are bad, right? Like you are in a breakup, so you want to listen to like sad songs. But this is the actual opposite of what you need to do. If you're in a negative space, you need to listen to happy music. You need to listen to music that has words that are positive, that's going to manifest within your life, because anything that has a strong emotion tied to it is going to charge the manifestation, because that's the trick of the energy. The actual words mean nothing if it's not connected to an emotion. So if you're listening to music and you're highly emotional listening to the music, then you are highly emotional manifesting the words that are coming out, and you are maybe singing along with that music. So it's very important that you think about that too. The lyrics, the words, the songs that you're listening to, it should actually be a positive vibe to help you set that forth. The next thing you can do is, and I learned this from Joseph McClendon III, and that is bouncing on a rebounder to charge up your manifestation and your energy. Your physical energy charges up when you bounce up and down. The lymph drainage is incredible, but also if you think of yourself like a battery, if you're jumping up and down, and a rebounder is just a mini trampoline, and you are listening to music that is of the positive, high-flying energy type of music, then that motivates you, right? We're all different. You might be listening to rap. You might be listening to whatever, pop music, whatever it is that gives you this feeling of being unstoppable and building something and creating something where no one's going to stop you and you're the best of the best. It doesn't serve you to think that you are the worst of the worst. It only serves you to believe that you are the best at what you do, and you are creating something that is making an impact in other people's lives, and you are bringing something of value to the world. So you need to get your mindset in that space where you truly believe that about yourself, and anyone who tells you otherwise, your thought is going to be, I'm going to prove you wrong. Haters are not necessarily bad. If someone tells you you can't do something, use it as motivation and energy to say and prove them wrong. Yes, I am going to do this. Watch me. watch me, and then go do the thing and prove to them that you are the badass, amazing person that you are and we're all born to be. And you can tap into that at any moment and live in your gift zone. Bring to the world what you have to offer, because you're here for a purpose. You're here for a reason. The world needs you, more of you, and you have something different than I have. You have something different than the other people have. Anyone who's experienced any sort of success in their life, you are different than them, and you bring something different to the table, and your personality and your energy is going to connect with people on a different level, and we need that from you. So don't hide it from the world. Don't be afraid of it. Don't let fear hold you back. Fear can be the biggest thing that can stop someone in building success within their own life, and it's something that is completely controllable, because when your body senses there's something different, you're going outside of your bubble, you're going outside of your comfort zone, this might not be safe, because you might get hurt. Someone might say something about you. Someone might try to bring you down. Someone might hurt your feelings. You're not safe. That fear trigger comes in, but you need to become bulletproof and just know that people are going to say shit about you, whether you do things or not. People are talking about you, whether you're sitting in your living room doing nothing, or you're out there putting yourself out there on social media, telling your story and building your business. They're going to talk to you about you either way. But one way is moving your foot in front of the other and is getting you towards a goal that is going to move your life in a different direction. And who cares about those people? They're not paying your bills. They're not the ones, changing your life. You're the one changing your own life. So just remember that. Keep that in your mind. People are going to talk about me no matter what I do. And the next thing that I want to mention that is a really powerful manifestation words that you can say to yourself that has helped me is everything always works out for me. If you just can tell yourself every single day, everything always works out for me constantly, and even speak it out loud to people. If they're like, whoa, how did that happen? You say everything always works out for me, and you become that person that people believe everything always works out for you, and you begin believing it for yourself. It will. The next one that is extremely strong and powerful is I am a charged up money magnet. Say that. I said that for years within myself, and it literally charged me up to become that magnet. So I'm a charged up money magnet is a really, really powerful one. I used to listen to music, and I would literally say I'm a charged up money magnet. This is when I was completely broke, making no money, right? So maybe there will be a topic on a secondary podcast episode on this topic. Put in the comments below what part of this that you want me to expand upon, what part of this isn't clear to you that you need help moving forward in, and then I will put that together into next week's episode. Again, I help people who have no experience get started and launch and begin their business, but here's the biggest thing. I've seen people come in and I've seen them start and get excited, but then go nowhere. And I've also seen people come in, latch onto it, and literally fly for the moon, and it's absolutely amazing to see. And it has nothing to do with the person actually being good at what they do or not good at what they do. It has everything to do with their mindset and belief of where they want to take this, and also putting in the action of proving people that they can do it too, and saying that this is going to be a slam dunk for them. If you're looking at an obstacle as a slam dunk, you're going to make it a slam dunk. If you're looking at it like an impossible goal, that's not possible for me, that's going to take too long, that's going to be too much work, that's going to be too hard, it absolutely will be. So you need to get it into your mindset immediately, right away. I'm going to dominate this. I am going to be the top of the top, number one, and I can't wait for everyone to see it. You're going to get there. Absolutely, you're going to get there. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Again, leave your comments below. I would love to know how you want me to expand upon this, what topics within this aspect. I know I could probably talk for hours on this and go into really deep conversation on this. So if you would like me to do that, let me know below.